Anyway, let's talk about this rumored episode 8 treatment that supposedly J.J. Abrams wrote, and I don't know if I really believe that it's legit.
Yeah.
Because, Doomcock was talking about it, and he's been right about a lot of stuff, and he's been wrong about some stuff too. But even when he did his video about it, seemed kind of dubious as to its credibility.
Yeah.
But whether it's real or not, this was the thing that I thought was interesting, is that I thought it was a much better continuation of the story that had been set up in The Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like a much more satisfying path for those characters than what we actually got.
If we're being honest,
yeah,
anything would have been much better than what we actually got.
Well, yeah, like I'm imagining like Princess Leia right now. That doesn't sound too hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I keep thinking about Rian Johnson and him being like, "Oh, this was just the best way I could see the story is going." It's like, that's the only reason I can think of that Luke would be on that island. And I'm like, okay, well, this person who wrote this treatment, whether or not they're actually J.J. Abrams, they came up with a way better reason for Luke to be on that island that didn't completely destroy the character.
Yep, that's it. That's what it's all about.
It also made sense within the context of what had been set up. I thought a lot more than... Okay, here's one of my problems with episode 8 as it was, is that when we see Luke in episode 7, he's like dressed in like his finest Jedi robes or whatever, and Rey comes to him and gives him the lightsaber, and that's the end of the movie. And then the next time we see
super dramatic, very emotional. You
Yeah.
see Luke Skywalker on the screen for the first time since Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, and then he tosses it away in a moment of slapstick. and then he goes and immediately changes clothes and changes into his like homeless person outfit. And I'm just like, why was he even dressed nice in the first place? Like, he wakes up in the morning, it's like, oh man, I'm Luke Skywalker and I'm so depressed. I'm going to put on really nice clothes and go stand on a cliff for... Was he going to commit suicide? I don't know what was going on there. like I don't understand why he went and why did he go and change clothes again? Like, to put on a person outfit. It doesn't make any sense.
He was going to go suckle that alien creature on the shoreline, and he needed something that was a little more appropriate for that.
Well, I don't know. Like, I mean, you want a whiner, diner, romancer. You're going to be, drinking directly out of her nipple. Like, you might as well, look sharp and show you care about her on a level beyond, like, you care about more than, the boobies.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean, that's just not really a better way to phrase that.
Yeah. We could probably, at some point we're going to have to figure out how we can play movies along with this thing. And then we could just break down Last Jedi from scene 1 way through. Yeah. It'll be we'll keep pausing it so we can laugh. It'll be a 4-hour-long epic video.
But then I would have to watch Last Jedi again. And I haven't done it in the theater.
I don't know if I can do it.
It's funny because, like, I liked it pretty well when I was watching it at the time, but I had some issues with it. But it was kind of one of those things where I was just kind of like, oh, well, maybe when I see how the whole story comes together, I'll appreciate it a little bit more. But, of course, I found out that they just made it all up as they went along, and that there was no...
That was me in the theater. I've been a Star Wars fan since I was 3 years old, and I'm sitting in a theater watching this, and I'm like, okay, maybe, this will work out by the time the credits roll or the next movie starts, or, Rian Johnson comes and personally explains his choices to me. But then afterwards, the more time goes by, I'm just like, you know what? That did not work at all. It's, they spent half the movie following Finn and Rose, and it amounts to absolutely nothing. They do absolutely nothing. They go off on their own. They have this little adventure. They release some space horses that I'm sure got rounded up by Speeder, within minutes. And then that's it. It's done. So
Well,
Captain Phasma gets dumped into a
like
chasm.
cleaning up the stables and everything, because that's an important job that needs to be done. So these kids need to be slaves, but gosh darn it, we've got to free these space horsies.
Yeah.
I really liked how Rose Tico, the Asian woman, explained to Finn, the black man, what slavery was.
Oh gosh.
Because that wasn't tone deaf at all.
Oh man.
Yeah, so
much wrong with that movie.
But yeah, speaking of Finn, like one of the things that I liked in this alleged treatment was that Finn was flying an X-Wing fighter. And I'm like, oh, hey, they let Finn do some stuff.
Yeah.
He actually learned how to fly an X-Wing fighter and be like a heroic character instead of continuing to be like useless comic relief that just didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Maybe that's not too fair to The Last Jedi, because he did, kill Captain Phasma at the end, and she was like one of the few characters like more useless than him. So
yeah. Well, I don't think Last Jedi was too fair to us. So
no,
The Last Jedi can go and know itself biblically.
Like I said, I don't know how legit that treatment was, but I can tell you, I probably would have liked it more than the one thing I didn't like about it was when they had Luke's wife in it and it wasn't Mara Jade. I know
Luke's wife in the movie.
Yeah,
you go with Mara Jade.
I know that you guys erased the expanded universe from the canon, but you should have kept her. If you're going to have a character that's Luke's wife, you should have brought her back. And frankly, I kind of feel like making a new character to be Mrs. Luke Skywalker that's not her, it's setting that character up for failure. Because that was already a character that was beloved by the fans.
Everybody would compare her to Mara Jade, and she's never going to live up.
Exactly. So, it just was like just kind of a recipe for disaster there. I don't think that would have worked as well. Maybe, even still called his son Ben Solo, and if you want to have a daughter or Ben Skywalker. But I guess they couldn't do that because they had Ben Solo.
Well, they could have named him something else.
Maybe they could have named him Jason.
It makes a whole lot more sense to me that they would have named, if somebody in the Star Wars trilogy is going to name their child after ObiWan Kenobi, that it would probably be Luke and not Leia. Really only knew him from when he died.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only time she ever saw him was when Darth Vader cut him down. So why would she name her kid after him? Anyway. But I actually like Kylo Ren.
So Kylo Ren was a great character, I thought. Yeah. Like, the thing I liked about Kylo Ren in Episode 7 is that going into it, I'm just thinking to myself, how are they going to make a villain for a Star Wars movie that isn't just a lame knockoff of Darth Vader? And I was worried that character was going to be a lame knockoff of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And then when I watched the movie, I'm like, oh, the whole point is that he's a lame knockoff of Darth Vader. He is a Darth Vader fanboy who wants to emulate
Darth Vader, yeah.
Darth Vader. That's a pretty brilliant way to do it, because then it's like you're steering into the swerve. It's like we can't avoid the comparison, so let's just make the comparison part of the character.
Yep.
So that was really clever. If the rest of the trilogy had been as clever as that, I'd be talking about how brilliant it was right now. Instead of
if the rest of the trilogy had been as clever as that, they probably wouldn't have hired Rian Johnson.
Yeah, that was just a big mistake. So.
Yeah, I'm not knocking him. I'm not gonna say he's a bad director. I love Looper. I haven't seen Knives Out, but obviously he's got some talent, or he wouldn't have been hired in the first place. But clearly, he had no love for Star Wars. So
I haven't seen Knives Out because I can't bring myself to watch anything he's connected.
Yeah.
But I heard it was really good.
Yeah.
And that seems to me like it would be more the sort of thing that's in his wheelhouse. And if he does more stuff like that in the future, more power to him. I wish him all the success in the world. but I can't support him because of like how he was a dick to the fans.
Yep.
And you might say, oh, well, the fans were dicks to him. Well, maybe, but to me, that's the difference between punching up and punching down.
Yeah,
It's like he's a director who's been paid millions of dollars to do basically any fan's dream job. He can take a little bit of criticism as far as
right.
If nothing else, just ignore it. But he had to just turn around and be a jerk back, and then that makes you look like you're the bully, man. Because like I said, you're the one who's got the money and the power and the position of authority in this matter as the filmmaker.
He's the oppressor.
Yeah.
He's the oppressor. So, he that makes him the bad guy. He has all the power in the relationship.
They were just as hard on George Lucas about the prequel movies, and I don't remember him being anywhere near that much of a jerk. I just remember him being like, oh, well, I made the movies that I wanted to make, and if you don't like them, it's too bad, but they're my movies, and I made them, and I'm very happy with them. And I got to respect George for that. I might have had some issues with the prequels too, but, he made the movies that he wanted to make, and, he was willing to accept the fact that, oh, well, maybe people aren't 100% happy with them, but I did what I set out to do, as opposed to Rian Johnson being like, oh, anybody who doesn't like my movies is an asshole, and whatever. So
back to Jade for a minute. It's clear there was a drive by everybody involved to create some strong female characters, because as we all know, Star Wars had never had such a thing before. So there's Mara Jade, a strong female character that all the fans love. Every fan who knows who she is absolutely loves her. And they had an opportunity to throw her in there and they didn't take it. It makes no sense.
So you would think that would be...
I have this theory that Hollywood really hates redheads, and there's a lot of evidence to support that.
Hey, there are a lot of really talented black actresses in Hollywood that could play Mara Jade.
Perfectly suited to play redheads.
Gabrielle Union. Get Gabrielle Union in there and have her play Mara Jade. And everybody will be happy.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Nobody will complain about anything.
No, not. What was there was another character.
I wouldn't care if they did if they did cast her as like a black woman. I just like the character.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
And it's like the character from novels. So it's like, I don't think they ever said she described her skin color, did they? She could be black. They said she had red hair. She could be a black lady with red hair.
It doesn't matter anyway. Just give her red hair. That's all I'm asking for. Because for some reason, every red-haired character in genre entertainment, they cast the actor. It's somebody who's not redheaded.
Yeah. Like even in the old days, like I don't think there's been a single Jimmy Olsen that was a redhead.
Yeah.
Like
Jack Larson and
which that was a black and white show, so I can cut that one a little slack, but
I can't remember what's the guy who was in the Christopher Reeves movie.
Mark McClure.
There you go, Mark McClure,
Yeah. He's also the same guy that was Marty McFly's brother.
Have we ever had a redheaded Jimmy Olsen in live action? I don't think there have.
I don't think they have. I think maybe the guy in Superman Returns, like I think his hair was kind of red.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
Barely.
Right.
But anyway, casting him as black guy too. It's not that I have a problem with putting more black characters in there, because it's nice to have diversity. I think just because not even for the politically correct reasons, but just to me it's more interesting to see a more diverse cast, like visually and in terms of like the point of the view of the characters. But it's really funny to me how it seems like it's always a redheaded character that gets turned into a black character.
There you go. Yep.
A redheaded character gets turned into an Asian character, or like a blonde character gets turned into a black character. It's always a redheaded character. You see what I'm saying? It's just a weird pattern.
So there's Jimmy Olsen or James Olsen now.
Yeah.
There's who was the other one? Zendaya as Mary Jane,
Yeah.
red-haired character. And the first time I ever knew who Zendaya was, she was a redhead, and they cast her as a redheaded character. And you know, she would have been great, but then they go and make her hair she's a brunette. So
I
just
think
let her have the red
made her
hair.
look like the Mary Jane Watson
Wally West.
comics with the red hair and have her dress nice instead of trying to make her look like she's homeless. She would have been a perfect Mary Jane. Like, no, I don't care about like her. That's one of those things where I'm just kind of like, I don't care about like what her ethnicity is. To me, she looks like the character from the comic anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
she actually, you know,
her facial features look like how John Romita Sr. drew that character. So,
or Todd McFarlane. She's a dead ringer for Todd McFarlane's MJ.
Yeah. So she looked like, to me, she looked like the character in the comic book. And, you know, maybe Mary Jane in the comic book was like a light-skinned black girl. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like they had like that many different shades of skin color that they could use.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
So, but we've gotten off on a big tangent.
Yeah, this is a big tangent
about Star Wars. So I think this video is now over.